I want to ask you about what was the way in which Nick brought joy to your life? I mean, beyond the obviously joy that a mom feels when her kid is great in sports, but on a personal level, what'd you have with?
I mean, he was unpredictable.
Was he a funny kid?
Funny, very funny. Could, at a very young age, copy mannerisms of teachers and coaches and really just get them down very quickly.
Mischievous? Would that be a fair description?
Curious, yeah.
Curious.
Yeah.
That sounds like a mother talking to me.
Yeah. You know, teachers either loved him or we were reading some notes a couple weeks ago from some of his teachers and, you know, it's...
What'd they say?
Well, his fifth grade teacher, I think she said he was a challenge and a joy at the same time. So that I could relate to that, definitely.
High energy,
High energy.
is the way we would say it.
He just, and I think looking back now, having a short life, he didn't have a lot of time to wait to do the things he wanted to do. Mm-hmm. He really, I mean, at 15 knew what he wanted to do and when he wanted to do it, and he just never seemed to have, he wanted to do it today or tomorrow.
You know, when I was reading his story, one of the things that immediately jumped out at me was that Nick and I share the same birthday, August 24th. Not the same year, let me be quick to tell you, but the same birthday. And obviously that touched me. And something else, he spent a year in Arkansas, where I live, with the Arkansas Traveler team, which is a farm team for the Angels. In fact, we've got a picture that is a wonderful picture of Nick at that year's brand new stadium, the Dickey Stevens Park. Yep. You guys spent some time with him in Little Rock, and there was a night that we all remember from that season, first season, and one of the coaches on the third base line was tragically killed when he was struck by a line drive ball. Nick was not that far away when that happened.
Yeah.
What did Nick say to you? Were you there that night when that happened?
We were all there. We had just gotten to the stadium a few hours before, and we always got there early. This was fan day or something, like you could get your picture taken with a player.
Yeah.
So this picture is Henry being the fan, getting this picture taken with a player. So
you just happen to know
his
the player.
favorite one. Yeah. So we tried it when Nick we would come in the day before and sit beside the dugout because he's just, the starting pitcher the day before is kind of just hanging out in the dugout, usually the day before they start. And he would sit at the end, and we would sit at the end, right, so we could visit with him, really, during the game. And it was the ninth inning.
Ninth inning.
I mean, game was won 9-3 or something. The game was pretty much over, and the ball hit him on the first base side, actually, and he landed, when the ball hit him, he landed right at Nick's feet. His hat landed right at Nick's feet. Did that have an impact on Nick?
Did it seem to sober him in a way, just the fact that he had seen something so closely?
I think Nick and the whole team, a lot of Nick's, best friends to this day were there that night.
Did he change from that point, Dwayne? Did you see a change in him?
Yeah, I did. He really, everything, as Coach Butcher said, things had been easy for him. The A-ball had come, and he had some struggles that year, and he really rededicated himself. I think he understood that this is an opportunity and that it's finite, and that was the hardest he'd ever worked in the off season after that, and it was the most that he called home.
Yeah.
And he was very seldom. I was very seldom with him after that topic didn't come up.
There's another photo I want to go to. It's Dwayne, you and Nick, looks like holding Henry there, right? Henry, you seem to always be in a photograph with Nick. Is that what this is about?
Yeah, I guess.
And I know there's no way Henry remembers this, but Dwayne, you had to at some point say, wow, I've got two boys in the house now, and raising these kids and teaching them values. What was the most important thing you wanted them to grow up believing, understanding, and adhering to?
Just to be honest. Just always be accountable and honest. And Nick was such a loving kid. When I first met Nick, it was very obvious that he had a humongous heart, and how much he loved his family, his dad and his grandparents, and and that if he could go through life just being honest with people about his feelings, about if he got in trouble, just say I did it. You know, just be honest about things. And he was a very accountable young man. And you know, we laugh sometimes that there were some times where you sit there and you go, hopefully he lies to us. But he wouldn't. He just really always, if you ask him, Nick, did you spill that? Yes. You know, and that was just one of the endearing qualities about him.
All right, Janet, Dwayne, and Henry, stay with us because we want to keep you here. 3 of Nick's friends were also in the car that night. 2 died, 1 lived. We're going to be joined by the parents of Courtney Stewart and Henry Pearson, along with survivor John Wilhite. We'll be right back.